TV.
One to Frazier. Lifted in the air to left. Over toward the gap comes Yastrzemski at the warning track at the wall. It's out of here! Todd Frazier gives the Mets the lead with a two-run homer.
The Todd father settles all debts. Hello and welcome to Geico Sports Night. I'm Eamon McEnany. Ahead on the show, we'll have highlights and reaction from the Mets doing something they haven't been able to do in a while, win a rubber game of a series.
That's right, Eamon, and I'm Chris Williamson. Also coming up, we go one-on-one with Saquon Barkley, and we get his thoughts on Odell Beckham's supposed shot at Eli Manning, among other things. Plus, the Yanks trusted J. Happ with the ball to ensure they weren't swept by the Blue Jays, his former squad. Yankees visiting the Blue Jays, top of the second. Yankees lead 1-0. Aaron Hicks is facing Edwin Jackson with 2 on, 2 out. Hicks hits a home run to right field, his third home run of the year. Gives the Yankees a 4-0 lead. Top 4, Gio Urshela leading off the inning. Urshela hits a home run to left field. His 4th homer of the year makes it 5-0 Yankees. Later in the inning, DJ LeMahieu is up with a man on second. LeMahieu singles to center. Cameron Maybin comes on home to score, makes it 6-0 Yankees. Bottom 7, J. Happ still going strong. Happ gets Brandon Drury to ground out to end the inning. Happ through 7 innings, giving up only 1 run with 4 strikeouts and 0 walks. 9th inning, Yankees leading 6-2 with Aroldis Chapman on the mound. Freddie Galvis lines out to Urshela to end the game. Yankees win 6-2.
They made it a little bit tough on him there in the first inning, whereas, it was up over 20 pitches in that first inning, and then to be able to be as economical as he was and to get us through 7, we need those kind of outings. That's huge when you're able to, go deep into a game. Our offense is able to score some runs early and reset the pen a little bit. But he's, put a few good ones now in a row together, and I thought he was really good, and I actually thought he got better as the game wore on, too.
Time now for Baseball Night in New York, as we are happily joined by Mark Malusis, John Harper, and Pete McCarthy. So the Yanks get the win in Toronto and avoid the sweep. Off the field, The Athletic is reporting that Dallas Keuchel and the Braves have agreed to terms of what is likely a 1-year deal. So it looked like the Yankees were the front runners, but the Braves get him. So Moose, will Brian Cashman regret not signing Dallas Keuchel?
Yeah, I really don't think he will. And reportedly a 1-year, $13 million deal. He gets to keep his beard. Great for Dallas Keuchel. And the very fact is that I don't look at him as being a starter at this stage that puts them over the top. If you're telling me that he's a guy that I'm able to pair up with Paxton, put the concern level of Luis Severino and his potential return in the second half, if I'm getting the guy that he was the dominant starter 3-4 years ago, then that would be something to regret. I don't think he's that guy. So I think I can find those innings that Dallas Keuchel is going to give me. I still might have to get that guy come July 31st, but that's why I don't think there's great regret from Cashman and the Yankees.
Yeah, this officially kicks off the Madison Bumgarner watch for me.
Right.
And because, look, Keuchel, as you said, Moose, to me, he's not a guy. They don't need him to get to the postseason. They're looking for the guy to put them over the top. There's huge expectations on this team to win this year. And so for them, I think a guy like Bumgarner, and look, he's not the Bumgarner himself of like 14 and 15, but he still has that postseason pedigree, and he's starting to look a little like that guy in his last few starts. So we'll see. But I think the Yankees will be in on one of those guys. I can't imagine Scherzer's going to be out there at the deadline, but I do think this ramps up the expectations for Cashman to do something at the deadline.
And there's no rush for the Yankees to have to do something now. They can wait until the trade deadline. How does Luis Severino come back? Is he able to be an impact pitcher and somebody they can trust? In the few weeks, they'll get a chance to look at him. And there are options. You mentioned Madison Bumgarner, also Mike Minor of the Rangers. He doesn't have the postseason resume of somebody like Bumgarner, but he's been phenomenal for Texas. So there are going to be some names available. And the Yankees have the pieces that they could make a move.
But those guys are going to cost you something, whereas Dallas Keuchel is a free agent. It's going to cost you money.
I'm kind of surprised at a 1-year deal. I thought Cashman would go there, but obviously he didn't want to go as high as the Braves did.
I'd worry a little bit about Keuchel just in the fact that he hasn't pitched the first 3 months of this year. It's going to take him time to ramp up? And how does 8 months off affect him? Now, this is huge for Keuchel. He's motivated. He only signs a one-year deal, so he's going to be a free agent again and try to get paid. But that's something that would scare me off a little bit. There's no guarantee. I'd rather have someone who's pitching well and bring them into the mix.
Also a move that impacts the Mets with him coming in the National League East. Sticking with the Yankees, Aaron Boone said before the game that Didi Gregorius should return on Friday. So, Harp, what can the Yankees expect from him coming back from the Tommy John surgery? And how does Aaron Boone juggle his infield?
Well, that's the key for me. I mean, I think they're not going to bring him back unless he's ready to make that throw from shortstop, obviously. But for me, what do you do now? I mean, Torres goes back to second. LeMahieu's going to play a lot of third, but Urshela's been a clutch guy for them. But LeMahieu has to play. For me, he's been their MVP. Maybe he'll play a little first base as well. But it is going to be a little bit of juggling act for Boone.
Yeah, listen, I mean, as long as Didi is healthy, he's going to be your shortstop. You'll move Torres over to second. LeMahieu is going to get that burn at third base or third base or first base. I think Harp nailed it. LeMahieu's got to consistently get in that lineup because he's been too good offensively not to, Pete.
And remember, Didi's coming off Tommy John surgery. Now, they don't have to thrust him in, play him every day. They can work him back in slowly, let him get his legs under him. He didn't hit particularly well in the minor leagues, so I think it's a very good situation for the Yankees.
Good problems to have. More depth for the Yankees in the infield. These guys are coming back to talk Mets, but now let's send it back over to Chris.
Thanks, Eamon. From the Yanks to the G-men, Saquon Barkley and company finished up day 3 of minicamp, where Barkley's been getting less reps to manage his workload, but he still will obviously be a focal point of the team, as will rookie QB Daniel Jones. At some point, our Jonas Schwartz talked with Barkley about Jones and more.
Daniel Jones, it's clear already the coaches certainly love him and see the skills that he has. What are you seeing at him? What's your early impressions from him?
He's a ball player. He can make every single throw. He can move his feet. When the practice breaks down, he can run. We saw the other day he pulled and run, and everyone went crazy. We're just happy for him. We're just trying to let him know that we're behind him to help him instill his confidence, and he just keeps coming every single day, learning from Eli, and when he's on the field, getting better every single day.
Now, everybody made a big deal out of the run. I assume you still think you're faster than him.
Yeah. I think I got Daniel Jones in the running, but I think it would be.
He might have you in the arm strength.
Definitely no arm strength with throwing, but you never know. There might be some games where when down the line in the future or whenever his time is, he can run the ball really well and could take that pressure off our run game and can be a threat in that area of the game. And when you have to respect that, it helps my job, helps Wayne's job, helps all the running backs' jobs, and makes it a lot easier for us.
Odell Beckham praised Baker Mayfield's arm strength yesterday, and obviously a lot of people took that as not necessarily, we don't know if it was, but people took it as a shot at Eli. What's your response to that?
Well, I don't think I saw his comments, but I don't think Odell was making a shot at Eli or anybody. He has a new quarterback. You have to get used to a new quarterback. That's like me saying from the beginning of the season, our O-line was here and there, injuries and trades and getting rid of people. And then the second half of the season, I had to get used to it. Not saying that the O-line in the first half of the season wasn't that good. You just got to get used to it and get a feel and get a mesh, and that's what he has to do over there. And at the end of the day, we just got to focus on the Giants, and he's focusing on the Browns there and focusing on getting better there. And we got to focus on ourselves to get better and compete for a championship this year.
Great stuff. Have a good summer. We'll see you in training camp.
Thank you.
Up next on Geico SportsNite, Adam Gase may not appear to have a lot of fun based on the image he portrays, but he actually does. Find out what he did for his squad on the last day of minicamp. And the Mets beat up on the Giants Thursday in a home run fest, including 2 from Ahmed Rosario and Dom Smith. Highlights coming next when we return.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Keep going, man. You got it.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
If you want just a little entertainment, try playing board games with a professional wrestler.
Oh, sorry, Cyclone King. You lose a turn.
Oh, I got a 6. Yay.
If you want entertainment that lasts more than an instant, try a cash word scratch-off from the New York Lottery.
I've got lilac! Yeah! Yeah! 1 letter away from frog! Tonsil! True bird!
We got it! Frog!
Yeah.
Play a cash word scratch-off today. You could win up to $1 million.
You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this.
The finals. Can they be more exciting with DraftKings Sportsbook? Yeah! Get skin in the game with a deposit bonus up to $200 and sweat every point. We're talking headband, wristband, and backband level sweat. Enjoy thousands of ways to bet and turn up the heat. During the finals, all DraftKings Sportsbook bettors get a deposit bonus up to $200. DraftKings. Download the app now.
Discover the Father's Day event at Joseph A. Bank. All traveler suits $249, dress and sports shirts $2 for $89. Plus buy one, get one free on almost everything else. The Father's Day event, only at Joseph A. Bank.
Join Strikeout Slavery for an exclusive post-game concert with 8-time Grammy Award winner Miss Lauryn Hill on Saturday, June 8th, when the Mets take on the Colorado Rockies.
Tomorrow, Pete Alonso and the Mets look to put on a display of power in front of the home crowd as they look to drop a pounding on Nolan Arenado and his Mile High Militia. Mets, Rockies, presented by Jim Beam. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30, only on SNY.
Mets taking on the Giants in a rubber game. Zach Wheeler with his 7th career start against the team that drafted him. He put up a goose egg in the first, and then the offense gets going. Ahmed Rosario deep to right center off Sean Anderson, and that one has the distance. A leadoff homer for Rosie. It's 1-0 Mets. Next batter is Dominic Smith. As he turns a 1-2 pitch, and that one sails into the seats. Mets lead off the first inning with back-to-back homers for the first time since 2016. Take a 2-0 lead. But now we're tied at 2 in the 6th. And the home run ball continues to be a problem for Zach Wheeler. Pablo Sandoval just demolishes this one. Second homer given up by Wheeler to make it 3-2 Giants. Wheeler would depart after 7 frames on the hook for a loss. Bottom 7 now. Mickey Callaway makes a peculiar move to pinch hit Jeff McNeil for Rosario, but Mickey escapes the back pages, at least for one day, as McNeil delivers a ludicrous game-tying single to left, just eluding the reach of Brandon Crawford. Juan Lagares scores, and we're tied up again at 3 runs apiece. To the 8th we go. It's a man on board for Todd Frazier. Todd's a strong man, but don't tell me these baseballs aren't juiced. This one somehow clears the fences for a tie-breaking 2-run homer to give the Mets a 5-3 lead. I mean, this one really had no business being anything more than a routine fly, but Frazier has been red hot lately, and that will put a hop in anyone's step. Frazier's like, yeah, Mets go on for the 7-3 victory. So, Todd, did you really think that ball was headed for the seats?
I had an inkling of it. I've done that a couple times in my career. Just one of those things where I actually squared it up, as silly as that sounds. You reached out and touched somebody, and we call it scooping them. So Eric Davis actually coined that phrase, and he always tell me, "Phrase, scoop somebody," and it happened. So I wasn't trying to hit a home run. I was trying to get basically a hit or find a way to get him in, and it wasn't even a good pitch to hit. So for me, to find the barrel and get it on there, I couldn't be happier.
The guys are back to define the term scoop. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But
Eric Davis coined that.
Eric Davis. But the Mets have now won 2 straight after Mickey's mea culpa on Tuesday night. So, Harp, are you buying into any connection here with the winning streak?
No, not necessarily. I think it had a lot more.
You promised you wouldn't laugh, John.
Sorry. I think it had a lot more to do with the Giants being in town. Hey, listen, the Mets are taking advantage of what has been a soft part of their schedule for the most part, and it's going to get a lot tougher for them. But the good part is you can see the possibilities with this starting pitching. Wheeler is so close to being back to that dominant guy he was the second half last year. He's just making too many mistake pitches for home runs. But other than that, and you got a guy like Vargas at the back end now. You can see where this team could make a run. Callaway's starting to lean on the rotation much heavier than he was early in the year. This is their chance if this pitching can continue like that.
Yeah, it's nice to see the starting pitching, give some innings, right?
Yeah.
Jason Vargas, a complete game. Nobody saw that coming necessarily, but Zach Wheeler, 7 innings today. That's what the Mets need a lot more of. And I think that's why the fans were so upset Tuesday when Noah Syndergaard was taken out in the 7th.
Right, and you look at, I mean, it's a combination of both. I mean, you look at the starters, but you also look at the opponents. So, I mean, you can't turn a blind eye to the fact of who they play. The Giants aren't a particularly good baseball team. That's why, to play to Pete's point, when they lose that game in extra innings, 9-3, to open up this series, it was kind of like fire alarms and bells going off. So you look at, there is possibilities. The Mets have got to learn from the mistakes. The manager has got to learn from the mistakes, be better in that dugout. You need guys to also perform, and that starting rotation's got to be a lot more consistent. Can't have starts like you got on that back end on that Sunday affair like Steven Matz gave you against the Arizona Diamondbacks, where he implodes in the first inning. Like, that cannot happen and continue to happen.
All right, this look at what's ahead for the Mets is presented by Audi. 100 games left this season, and the Mets are 30-32. So, Pete, is that what they are? Or can they get on a run here and get into contention with the Phillies?
Well, if they get on a run, they're going to have to earn it. The next 28 games that takes into the All-Star break, all against teams that currently have a winning record. The Mets have won one series all year against a team with a winning record, or currently has a winning record, and that was the Philadelphia Phillies in the middle of May. So the Mets have not done well against the top competition in the league. They're going to see a lot of it over the course of the next month. And they don't have the wiggle room to, play a couple games under 500. That could knock them out of the race. So they have to play their best baseball of the year for the next month, bar none.
And I think the bullpen ultimately is going to be their downfall. I think that's a problem. But I do think this, as I said earlier, this is the best the rotation has pitched as a whole. And I think you're starting to see the possibilities. DeGrom looking better. I think they have a chance. If the pitching is right, they can compete against anybody. But, they missed out on Kimbrel. I don't know where else. They need bullpen help at some point because these starters aren't going to be able to go deep all the time. I think that's their problem.
Not all the time, but consistently they've got to go. In this stretch, they definitely have to. I mean, you cannot be – if you're Mickey Callaway, your gut has got to be sticking with your starter as deep as they can go until they're absolutely gassed or they hit a pitch limit that you have to get them out of the game, because that's where the strength of the staff is. I mean, you have Diaz in the back end, maybe mixing a little Lugo in that bullpen, but other than that, there aren't a lot of solutions where you're going to get outs, especially against quality opponents, and we've seen this bullpen get lit up by bad teams. So right now, this is a true test here. If they can start to get some sort of a rhythm going, the big key is to get to 500 and instead of taking the 2-3 steps back and falling back under 500, get a couple games over 500. Then maybe you get to 5.
So what's your gut tell you at the All-Star break after these 28 games? Are they playing meaningful baseball end of July, early August?
I don't think they've been consistently enough for me to sit here and say I think they're going to be playing meaningful.
I think they'll be close enough to hang around, but then I think it's up to Brody to do something at the trade deadline if they're going to be serious about making a run.
It's tough to see based on what we've seen thus far. This is a stretch that could end them.
All right, guys. Mark Malusis, John Harper, Pete McCarthy, thanks for stopping by for Baseball Night New York. And I'm going to ask Chris after the show who gave him permission to go with Rosie, but certainly I don't want to hear Matsy or Vargy. Those are Mickey only, Chris.
Thanks, Eamon. If you told me Adam Gase would cancel the last day of minicamp so his team could enjoy a day of hitting golf balls, I'd be like, yeah, okay. But that's what happened Thursday. He took the team to Topgolf to enjoy some team bonding. Now, for more on what was anything but a dull minicamp, here's our Janae Coakley.
Thanks. I'm here with ESPN's Jets reporter Rich Cimini. And Rich, Adam Gase is his first minicamp in the books. What did you see from this offense?
Well, I think Adam said it best. The key words, growing pains. It's a new offense. They're learning on the fly. You have a young quarterback who's installing this offense, so you're going to have some mistakes. I thought you saw some really good moments from Sam Darnold. Personally, I think he's throwing the ball with a little bit more zip this year than last year, but there's some hesitation. He's a little tentative. He's going against a very tough defense, different coverages he hasn't seen before, so that's why you're seeing some hesitation as he's going through his reads, and it's not all clean, but that's what minicamp is for.
All right, let's talk about Le'Veon Bell, because for the first time we got to see Le'Veon Bell in a Jets uniform. What'd you think?
Well, he's loud. He's very verbal. I was watching him very closely in a couple of days of practice, and he's not only loud on the field, he's talking with teammates, interacting with coaches. When he goes over to the sideline, he's also doing the same, little trash talking. I saw him walk over to the defense one day and got into it with a little of those guys, and they kind of shoved him back towards the offensive side of the field. It was all in good fun. He's learning, too. New offense. He's been in the league for 5 years, so he knows the basics, but this is still new terminology. it's really growing pains for him as well. You'll see more and better of Le'Veon in training camp.
You talk about how loud Le'Veon is. The thing that I've noticed is defense is loud and it's fast. What have you seen from Greg Williams' defense?
This defense is going to be entertaining this year. I wish we could mic it up so the fans could hear it. I'm not sure if it will be suitable
yes.
for a family television. I like eavesdropping when Greg goes off to the sideline and talks to the players. You hear some really interesting, some technical stuff, some R-rated stuff. It all gets mixed in, but that's who Greg Williams is. He pushes the envelope. He's on these guys. He's coaching them hard. It's a little salty with his vocabulary, but I think it makes for great theater, and these players are playing hard for him.
All right, as always, Rich Cimini, I'm Janae Coakley. Back to you.
Thanks, Janae. Word is Kyrie Irving's high on the net, so did they make a move Thursday to bring in another big-time free agent? The answer in a bit. And Zach Wheeler went deep in his outing versus the Giants, 7 innings, but gave up 2 long balls. We'll hear from the upcoming free agent about his thoughts on a mixed outing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's not too late to get your tickets to the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, featuring the $1.5 million Belmont Stakes June 8th. This event is bigger than ever, with 18 stakes races, including 8 Grade 1 races on Belmont Stakes Day, and a post-race concert featuring international superstar Flo Rida. Don't miss out. Buy your reserved seats, premium hospitality, and general admission tickets today at BelmontStakes.com.
Get must-have styles for dad at K&G. Select designer suits are buy one, get 2 free. Plus, buy 2 suits separate jackets, get 2 pants or vests free. And Van Heusen dress shirts are 2 for just $35. Find Father's Day looks for less at K&G.
We are sisters, and we just moved in together.
Why Alyssa and Aaliyah chose Fios.
We stream so much. A lot of times Alyssa is watching TV on her laptop, using her phone, also using her tablet.
I am really good at multitasking. Because I'm awesome.
A little.
The best internet is even better at our best price. Switch now and get our fastest speeds available, plus a free Chromebook on us. That's Fios.
The Honda Pilot is great for family adventures, as well as the not-so-family-friendly ones. We made it tougher than it needed to be. Because you never know what you'll come up against. The Honda Pilot, with available all-wheel drive. Get a great deal on the Pilot, part of U.S. News & World Report's best SUV brand.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
We're the Tennies, and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA to start saving on insurance today.
More people are switching to Ram than ever before because Ram gives you more towing, more luxury, and more deals with up to 20% off MSRP on America's most awarded pickup. The all-new Ram 1500. Hurry in for big deals during Ram Truck Month.
Now get 20% off MSRP on select all-new 2019 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock. Or while qualified lessees of competitive vehicles get this low-mileage lease on the 2019 Ram 1500 Classic.
Who's raking? Who's slumping? Who's dealing? Catch up on all the local baseball activity from our panel of insiders as they recap and break down the latest Mets and Yankees action on Baseball Night in New York. Weeknights at 6, only on SNY.
To hoops, and the Nets made a move Thursday that puts them in line to be major players in free agency. ESPN reporting that Brooklyn will send Allen Crabbe and his $18.5 million contract to Atlanta. The move clears the salary cap space to pursue 2 maximum free agent contracts this summer for Brooklyn. The details of the trade are presented by Geico. Along with Crabbe, Atlanta will get the 17th pick in this year's draft and a 2020 lottery-protected first-round pick from Brooklyn. The Nets get Taurean Prince and a 2021 second-round pick. The deal cannot be finalized until July 6th. SNY's NBA insider Ian Begley has more.
The Knicks-Nets rivalry kicked into full gear on Thursday when the Nets made a trade to create enough cap space for at least one max free agent. Now Brooklyn is certainly in play for Kyrie Irving, who was a main target for the Knicks. And with their trade on Thursday, the Nets shed Allen Crabbe's salary. They now have at least $40 million in cap space. That's enough to land Irving as a free agent. And that's a problem for the Knicks because they were looking at Irving as a potential pairing with Kevin Durant, their top free agent target this summer. And teams that were in pursuit of Irving or are in pursuit of Irving are under the impression that he is leaning heavily toward the Nets, as others have reported. And if Irving's off the board, the Knicks are going to have to go to plan B when they look for a player to pair with Kevin Durant.
Zach Wheeler followed up Jason Vargas' shutout game by going 7 innings and only giving up 3 runs. It's the 4th straight start. He's gone 7, but Wheeler did allow 2 homers. That makes it 3 of the last 4 starts that he's let up that many long balls. It certainly bothers him, but, man, he isn't worried too much about it.
When you're making your pitches and guys are putting the bat on the ball and it's going a long way, you get kind of frustrated. Like I said, every fly ball today, I was just standing there because I didn't know if it was going to go out or not. So, you can't really let it get to you mentally. You just got to say it is what it is and just go out there and keep making your pitches and try to get ground balls. I made a couple mistakes, and luckily these guys picked it up for me and kept them battling, and, we put out a W.
And they're certainly going to need him to go deep and limit the long ball action if they want to have a legitimate shot to compete for a playoff spot, Eamon.
And, Chris, it would also help to get Brandon Nimmo back in the top of the lineup, and we'll have the latest on the outfielder's rehab assignment when Geico Sports Night returns after this. Stay with us.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
I want it.
I can't believe it.
That car brought his karaoke machine.
Nothing but a heartache.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
Tell me why. Go, Kevin. Go, Kevin. No.
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Do you feel the need to keep climbing, even when you've reached the top? Do you appreciate everything you have, but still want to do more? You do, when you're free. Set yourself free in a Jeep Grand Cherokee at the Jeep Celebration event.
Or well-qualified lessees of these select competitive vehicles get this low-mileage lease on the 2019 Grand Cherokee for $219 a month.
He's going to have 8 feet remaining on this one. This one is for the birdie.
When you bet on FanDuel Sportsbook, you're never far from the action. Right now, place your first bet risk-free. That's up to $500 back if you don't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, more ways to win.
Were you hurt at work? Get the workers' compensation payments you deserve. Did you suffer hearing loss at work, or do you have a third-party injury claim? And what about Social Security disability? Get the experienced legal representation you deserve. There's so much at stake. Call 1-800-222-WISH today. For over 80 years, Pasternak, Tilker, Ziegler, Walsh, Stanton, and Romano have defended the rights of hardworking New Yorkers. Call 1-800-222-WISH.
You could win a trip to Universal Orlando Resort's 3 amazing theme parks, where you could experience Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, the epic new addition to the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Plus, stay on site at Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort. Just go to sny.tv/Toyota and enter today. Toyota, let's go places. All things New York sports, all on one site, with easy access to up-to-the-minute news on all of your favorite New York area teams, only on SNY.TV.
Stanley Cup Finals, Game 5. Bruins hosting the Blues. Start of the second period, no score. Blues on the attack. Zach Sanford from behind the net sets up Ryan O'Reilly, who scores to give St. Louis a 1-0 lead. Third period, O'Reilly gets the puck over to David Perron. He shoots and scores to give the Blues a 2-0 lead. Bruins would add one late, but the Blues would hold on to win it 2-1. They now lead the series 3-2. St. Louis one win away from becoming Stanley Cup champions.
All right, NYC FC taking on Cincinnati at Yankee Stadium. 49th minute, New York up 3-1. Maxi Morales with the beautiful pass to Hebert. He knocks it down with his chest and sends it in the net. Another look. One of Morales' 3 assists on the night. Hebert had 3 goals. Unfortunately, one of them was an own goal, but still a good night. NYC FC wins 5-2.
And back to the Mets before we go. Brandon Nimmo began his rehab assignment Thursday with single-A St. Lucie. He DH'd and went 2 for 4 with a triple and a run scored.
And hopefully after he finishes his rehab stint, he can get his production back to normal before his neck issues started bothering him. And on that note, for Eamon McEnany, I'm Chris Williamson. That's going to do it for Geico Sports Night. Live in the moment, beautiful people. You've only got one life. At least that's what they tell us, right?